Today, we've got the first look at the new iPhone 16 series, as well as many other spec confirmations. Before we get started though, let me know in the comments who out there is waiting for the iPhone 16, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech. Today's video is sponsored by Supremo. Supremo is an incredibly powerful remote desktop application that's not only very easy to use, but it's also compatible with a wide range of operating systems like Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. You don't need any technical knowledge, and you can remotely connect in seconds using any computer, smartphone, or tablet to gain full control, and it even supports computer setups with multiple monitors like mine. Whether you want to control a work computer from home or control a home computer while you're out, Supremo's got you covered, and you can even control your computer using your phone. You just enter your computer's ID and the password using the Supremo application, and it automatically connects within seconds. And best of all, it's free for non-professional or non-continuous use, and there are also flexible plans for professional users to suit the size of your business. And of course, I've placed the links to Supremo down in the description below, so go ahead and check it out now. Now back to the iPhone 16, and first up, we've got more confirmation that both the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 16 Pro are going to feature the 5x Tet Prism zoom camera. We've had plenty of sources confirming this already, and a new report from TrendForce confirms that the iPhone 16 Pro is going to feature the new folded camera for better optical zoom, and it was reportedly left out of the 15 series due to lack of physical space. But as the iPhone 16 Pro is going to be increasing it to a 6.3-inch display, it has allowed them to overcome the issue. Now next up, we've got the first look at the standard iPhone 16 as well as the iPhone 16 Pro models. So if we start with the standard iPhone 16, we've had plenty of sources claiming that there's going to be a change to the camera module, and we now have another tweet from Majin Buu, and he shared the leaked CAD of the iPhone 16, which shows the same. You can see from the CAD we've got a large camera module in a vertical layout, as well as a cutout for the LED flash. Now not only that, but it also shows us the new capture button where the millimeter wave antenna used to be, and this will of course have many uses for photography. Now it's important to note that Majin Buu has tweeted a lot of designs lately, and as such his accuracy is quite low, so take this one with a grain of salt for now. When it comes to the iPhone 16 Pro models, we had many tweets from Majin Buu last week showcasing a couple of different designs from vertical layouts to a new triangular shaped camera module, but it appears that these were both false. Now 91 Mobiles have obtained the CAD for the iPhone 16 Pro models, and it shows the same design as last year, but this time we've got a new capture button where the millimeter wave antenna used to be, and you can also see that the capture button is flush with the frame rather than being raised like the power button above it. Now the CAD confirms the dimensions are 149.6 by 71.4 by 8.4 millimeters. So this makes it taller and wider than last year's model, and this also makes sense as many leakers have already told us that the screen size is going to be increasing from 6.1 to 6.3 inches. So overall, it looks like the iPhone 16 Pro model is going to have the same design we're used to, but it will be getting slightly bigger, as well as having this new capture button. But it seems the highlight of this year's launch is going to be with iOS 18, and many leakers have already said that it's going to be the biggest change to iOS we've had for years, with a lot of new features and AI functions. Now for those of you excited for the iPhone 16 series, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing to help you guys decide which one is right for you. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video, but if you're new here, then hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we have the standard iPhone 16. And with the standard iPhone 16, we get a 6.3-inch OLED display, but unfortunately, this is still going to be an LTPS display. The iPhone 16 is going to have a taller aspect ratio than last year, and it's going to be protected by Ceramic Shield 2. We get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera and Face ID sensors, and then on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered by the A18 chipset, and it's likely coming with 6GB of RAM and up to 512GB of storage. It's also powered by a 3450 mAh battery with 30-watt fast charging, and it's going to come with advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, and Wi-Fi 7. Now it will of course ship with iOS 18 and is expected to launch from around $850 in September 2024. Now next up, we've got the iPhone 16 Plus. With the iPhone 16 Plus, we get a 6.9-inch OLED display, and again, unfortunately, this is another LTPS display. It's got a taller aspect ratio than its predecessor, and is protected by Ceramic Shield 2. We get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie cameras and Face ID sensors, and then on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered by the A18 chipset, and it's likely going to come with a choice of 6GB of RAM and up to 512GB of storage. It's powered by a 4420 mAh battery with 30-watt fast charging, and it comes with the advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7. Now it of course ships with iOS 18, and it's expected to launch from around $950 in September 24. Next up, we've got the iPhone 16 Pro. Now the iPhone 16 Pro has a 6.3-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display. It's got a taller aspect ratio than its predecessor, and the Pro is protected by Ceramic Shield 3. We get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera and Face ID sensors. Then on the rear, we get a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and then we've got a 12-megapixel tetraprism camera with 5x optical zoom. It's powered up by the A18 Pro chipset, and it comes with 8GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, and it's also powered up by a 3450 mAh battery, and fast charging is still unknown at the moment, but we do expect some improvements, and of course it comes with the advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7. It will of course ship with iOS 18, and is expected to launch from around $1,100 in September 2024. Now finally, we save the best to last, the iPhone 16 Pro Max. With the iPhone 16 Pro Max, we get a 6.9-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display. Again, like the other phones, it's got a taller aspect ratio than its predecessor, and is protected by Ceramic Shield 3. We get the dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie cameras and Face ID sensors, and then on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 12-megapixel tetraprism camera with 5x optical zoom. It's powered up by the A18 Pro chipset, it comes with 8GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, and it's powered up by a 4500 mAh battery. As with the 16 Pro, we don't know the fast charging at the moment, but we do expect to see some improvements. Now it comes with the advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7, and it will of course ship with iOS 18, and this one's expected to launch around $1,300 in September 24. So overall, the iPhone 16 is looking like the same iPhone we've been seeing for a long time, apart from a few changes in design like a new camera module for the non-pros and of course the extra capture button. Now Apple are continuing with the same approach, and they're focusing on the hardware and software to give the best user experience possible, and AI is playing a huge role in all aspects of tech at the moment, and Apple are working to include as many AI features as they can, and given the power of their chipsets, we can hopefully expect some impressive things from Apple. Now it seems that iOS 18 is going to be one of the biggest changes we've seen to iOS for quite some time, and I'm very excited to see what they deliver. Now of course, given the similarities to its predecessor, I can't imagine anyone with an iPhone 15 rushing for an upgrade, but for anyone with an older iPhone or looking to get their first iPhone, then the iPhone 16 is going to be a great choice. Now launch is still quite a way away, and as soon as anything else comes in, I'm going to be sharing it straight away, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.